Hello and welcome to our VectorVest strategy presentation titled A Window of Opportunity. My name is Brian D'Amico, Manager of Educational Services here at VectorVest, and it's my pleasure to present this strategy to you. Let's begin tonight by doing a little myth busting. There are two main myths that are going around surrounding VectorVest Realtime and the Derby. People hear the term real-time and think, oh, I need to be a day trader to do that. Or, I need to be able to watch the market during the day to benefit from real-time and the Derby. Well, let's put these myths to bed. Tonight, I'm going to walk you through a technique which allows you to do all of your analysis at night over a cup of coffee. So you can still work a 9-to-5 job, come home, spend some time with your family, then set aside some time to do some analysis as an investment in yourself and your portfolio. Let's get started. Tonight's technique involves four main sections. As always, we want to first start out with market direction. Once we determine market direction, we'll head to the Derby Tote Board to find the most efficient searches. Once we do that, we'll use the Unisearch tool to run those searches, and we'll build a watch list of the top 10 stocks from each search. Once our watch list is created, I'll show you how to best cherry pick candidates to buy based on the graphs. So let's get right into VectorVest and begin. Here we are in VectorVest and we're looking at our market timing graph over the past year. As you can see, right now the market is pulling back. When the market does this, you should actually start to get excited because it gives you time to get prepared for the next upturn. Whether it takes 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year for that upturn to begin, you want to be ready for it. You don't want it to catch you by surprise, and you don't want to be scrambling at the last minute to find something to buy. Let's zoom in to the last 3 months to get a closer look. In our recent strategy videos, we've been looking at this market pullback right here at the beginning of October 2013. After this pullback, there was this big up day here on October 10th. And the following day, on October 11th, VectorVest signaled a green light in the price column of the color guard. And I'll add that to the graph simply by coming down here and choosing green light buyer. And you can see here with the green arrow, that lets us know there was a green light signaled that day. When you see that, you then want to find some great searches, and thus some great stocks, you'd consider buying. Keep in mind what's going on in the market right now. You don't see any of those green arrows, do you? At some point, the market will bottom and begin to move back up. You can use the same technique that we're going to look at today when that happens. At this point, I want you to imagine that today is October 11th. You just got this green light, and you want to prepare yourself and find some stocks to buy. So let's head over to the Derby, and I'll show you exactly what you would do. So I'll come up to the top, and I'm going to click on this Derby tab. And once you're in the Derby, come down here and click on Tote Board. Then you have 3 steps. Are you ready? I hope you have a pencil handy because you can jot these down as we go. Step number 1, come over here and change the analysis mode to sliding window. And that's why the strategy is called a window of opportunity, because we're going to be using this sliding window analysis. Step 2, we want to change this date range so that we're looking at 10 trading days. Remember, we're imagining that today is October 11th. So I'm going to click on this date range, and 10 days prior to October 11th was September 30th. So I'm going to come over here and select October 11th because that's what we're pretending today is. When I click on OK, we can see here that it says 10 trading days. And then once we do that, I'm just actually going to move this over so we have a little bit more room. There's a column over here on the right that says efficiency. And that's step 3. Step 3 is to click on the efficiency column so it sorts all of the searches by that column. I'm actually going to drag some of these over just a little bit so that we can see everything on one screen. So let me just repeat those 3 steps. After we've come to the tote board, you change this to sliding window. You set your date range so that it's 10 trading days. And again, that's 10 trading days prior to the current date, assuming that you're doing this analysis on the day you get the signal. And then once you do that, you're going to sort it by the efficiency column. Let me quickly discuss what the Derby has just done for us. It has taken every search in the system, and you can see them listed here on the left-hand side. And what it's done is performed multiple quick tests. For example, I'm going to click on this one right here, Explosive EPS Stocks, because it's the first bullish search in the list. Remember, you want to make sure that your search matches the market direction. And notice what it's done here. It's done 8 separate quick tests, and each time the quick test ran for a 3-day window. And when I close this up, you can see that on average, it gained 3.25% per test. It made money on 100% of the runs, so that's why it says the percentage of winning runs 100%. So 8 out of the 8 quick tests made money. And the reason why we sort it by efficiency is because we not only want searches that give us a high total gain, but we want to make sure that the search had a high percentage of winning trades, a high percentage of winning runs, and a low drawdown. That's what efficiency does for us. So our next step is to write down the names of the top 5 to 7 searches that match the market's direction. So let's see what we've got here. We've got Explosive EPS Stocks. That's a long search. Next up is Marathon. We'll have to skip Show Me the Money. We'll come to Romancing the NPM. So that's 3. And we've got Stalwarts, Golden Goodies, and how about one more? Bottle Rockets. So that gives us 6. So we've got the top 6 searches that match the market's direction. And remember, these are the most efficient searches during this 10-day window. Once we have those searches written down, let's head over to the Unisearch tab so we can run the searches. And remember, we're imagining that today is October 11th, so that's why I've set the Unisearch to show October 11th, 2013. So let's begin running those searches. To make things easy, I do like to sort this alphabetically, so I'm going to click on this A to Z button, and I'm also going to change this so that we're displaying the top 10. Because what I'm going to do is run each search and take the top 10 stocks from each one, and we're actually going to build a watch list of them. So let's come back to the list over here. And our first search was Explosive EPS Stocks. So we'll look for that in the list here. There it is. And we're going to run it. And let's just pull this up a little bit, make sure we see all the stocks. So here are the top 10 stocks from the Explosive EPS Stock search. So we need to put these 10 into a watch list. So I'm going to click on the first one. And now I'm going to hold down the Shift key on my keyboard. And while holding down Shift, I'm going to click on the last one. And now I'm going to right-click and select Add to Watch List. So now I just need to create a watch list to put these stocks in. So I'm going to click on the group I want to put it in. So I'm going to click on the My Watch List group. Click on this little piece of paper up here for a new watch list. And let's give it a name. Let's just call this Derby 10/11. I'm going to come over here and click on Add. And then when I come to the bottom here and click OK, it's going to put those 10 stocks into that watch list. So now let's just run the next search. So I'll come back over to the list of searches, and the next search was Marathon. So I'm going to find that in the list here. There it is. And let's run this search. Now this one only has 4 stocks to get returned, but that's okay. And even a couple of them are matches from before, but I'm still just going to go through the process, and I'm going to click, press on Shift, and then click on the last one. And then I'm going to right-click, Add to Watch List. It actually remembers the watch list that I created a moment ago. And I'm going to click on OK down here. So now it's added these stocks to that watch list. Basically, we're building one big watch list of all the top stocks from all the top searches. Let me do just one more and then I'll skip ahead, because there's no need for you to watch me do all 6 searches. So I'll come back over to the list, and the next one was Romancing the NPM. So I'll scroll down until we find it. There it is. Let's run this one. Looks like we've got 10 here. So I'm going to click, press Shift, click again, right click, Add to Watch List, and add those. All right, well, I'll do the next 3, Stalwarts, Golden Goodies, and Bottle Rockets, and then I'll resume the video when I'm all done. All right, as you can see, I just finished up. I have Bottle Rockets over here, and I just added the top 10 stocks to the watch list. So now that we've done that, let's take a look at the watch list we just created. So I'll come up to the top and click on Viewers. And then on the left-hand side, we'll open this up, and you can see here's our watch list that we created. And you see up at the top here, we've got 31 items in here. So even though we were trying to put the top 10 stocks from 6 different searches into one watch list, there obviously were a bunch of matches, and we saw that one of the searches only had a handful of stocks. So in all, we had 31 stocks from those searches. So let's do this. Let's just see how these 31 stocks did from October 11th until the current date. So let's change this date here. Let's go back to October 11th. Click on OK. I'm going to shrink this left-hand side. And let's just quick test all of these stocks. And actually, I just quick tested just the top 20. So let me just switch this to all. And now we've got all 31. So now let's quick test all of them. All right, so out of the 31, we've got 23 winners. 8 of them were losers. Overall, not bad, right? 15% compared to the overall market, 2%. But we're obviously not going to buy shares of all 31 stocks. Now, you could buy shares of the top 10 or the top 5. And you can see you would have done fairly well. 50% gainers here, here, here. A couple of 20s. We had some losers in there. But let me show you a great way to cherry pick from the list of 31 stocks. And to do that, we're going to graph all of them. So I'm going to close this here, and let's graph them all. So here we're looking at the default graph from VectorVest. And this is where we got the stock price, we've got a moving average, and relative timing at the bottom. So I want you to write this down. We're going to look for 3 things as we go through these graphs. The first thing we're going to look for is we're going to look at the stock's price. We're going to make sure that it's rising, that it's steadily rising, and that it's got low volatility. We don't want to see stocks that go up and down, up and down. The second thing we want to make sure of is we want to look at relative timing. We want to make sure that it's still rising, because if we see RT falling, even though price is rising, we want to avoid that stock, because it means the stock is losing momentum. And the third thing we want to look for is rising earnings. And to do that, I'm actually going to come over here. I'm going to add earnings to the graph. And let's just take off this moving average. There we go. So now we've got earnings, RT, and price. These are the 3 things we're going to be looking for here. So the first thing we need to do is change the date range back so that the right-hand side of the graph is October 11th, because this is what we would have seen on October 11th. All right, let's go through these graphs and write down the ticker symbols that would interest us. So here we have a nice lower left to upper right pattern in price. It's not too volatile. Even the downswing took a while for it to move down. It didn't happen all at once. If we look at relative timing, we can see that that is still rising with the price rise, and overall earnings has been rising. So that one's good to go. AC.A. If we go to the next one, AC.B is basically the exact same thing. So we'll write that one down. Here we are at MCR. Beautiful graph, right? Lower left to upper right. Earnings popped up. But we're looking at relative timing, and it's actually been coming down. If we go to this high point back here, we had relative timing at a level of 1.86. And if we come over to the current time, it's down to where are we here? 1.76. Actually, let's go to October 11th. And on October 11th, it was 1.81. So RT has been coming down. And that's what we don't want to see. So let's go to the next one. Here we have another nice lower left to upper right graph. This is what we want to see. Relative timing increasing and earnings increasing. So we'll write this one down, TCL.A. Go to the next one. GIB, also increasing. Looks like relative timing has been increasing. And earnings is increasing. If we go to the next one. So here we have CXS. And what do we notice here? Relative timing has been coming down. And earnings has been flat and also been coming down. So we're going to skip that one. Here we are with RX. Price has been coming down. It fell sharply. RT has been coming down. Even though earnings has been rising, we're going to skip this one. Go to the next one. Nice price pattern, right? Nice earnings pattern. But what do you notice about relative timing? It's been decreasing while price has been rising. So we'll skip that one. We'll come to ATD.B. Price has been rising. with this price rise, we see relative timing rising and earnings has been rising. So we'll write that one down. TRZ.B. Nope, look at relative timing. That's been coming down. So we'll skip it. LUC. Yep, we're going to like this one. Earnings is rising, RT is rising, price is rising. MG. Wow, look at that. Put a ruler on that. Bottom left to upper right. But look at relative timing. Slowly falling and falling and falling. It's losing momentum. So we're going to skip past that one. SVC. Yeah, we'll write this one down. Was a little flat for a little bit, but it's taken off again. Relative timing's taking off. And look at earnings. Now, I didn't mention this before, but keep in mind, earnings, if you got rising earnings, that's what drives stock prices higher. So we want to see rising earnings. And if we go to the next one, IAG, we're going to say no to this one because relative timing's falling. And we'll just quickly go through the other ones. GPS, it's close, but relative timing is lower than it was back at this peak. So we'll skip it. DOL, we'll say yes to. It's going up. Relative timing is actually higher, and earnings is higher. This one's a no. Mostly, look at this, price. Up and down, up and down, up and down. So we don't want that. KLS, this one's a no because of relative timing is moving lower. LNR, hopefully you said no because look at relative timing. TVE, earnings looks nice, but look at price. Down and up. We'd want to see lower left to upper right. All right, so we'll go to the next one. No, because look at price. That's not what we want to see, so that's an easy one. We'll skip past that. So here we have GC. This one's starting to take off here. Relative timing, yes. Earnings, yes. So we'll write that one down. RMP, nope. Look at relative timing. BKX, no, because look at earnings. BXE, nope, because we look at relative timing. You can see how quickly you can go through these graphs and cherry pick the ones that you like. NVS, nope. Price is not what we want to see. Relative timing's coming down. So here we have GNV. That looks good. Price is going up. RT is going up. Earnings is going up. And then you can see the rest of them here. But I think we actually have 10 now if my notes are correct. So let's actually close this graph. So now we're back at our main list. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to highlight the ticker symbols that we selected. And hopefully you were jotting them down as we went. So we got AC.A, AC.B, TCL.A, GIB, ATD, LUC. And to do this, I'm just holding down the control key on my keyboard. SVC, DOL. I got to scroll down to get to the rest. And we've got GC and GNV. So now let's quick test those. So we're going to quick test the selected items. You can see even with cherry picking, you're still going to get a couple of losers in there. That's going to happen. You're not going to make money in every single trade that you make. But look at this. We got 80% winners, 8 out of the 10. We increased our percentage gain up to 17.5. And look at how well we're outperforming the market. So think about what we did. We found the market was going up. We went to the Tote Board to find very efficient, top-performing searches. We took the top stocks from those searches, and then we cherry-picked the best candidates from those top stocks. You're putting a lot of things in your favor by doing this. Tonight, I hope you saw how to use the Derby's Tote Board to select efficient searches, how to take those searches and build a watch list of the top stocks, and then how you can cherry pick great candidates from that watch list. If you'd like more information on this topic, we've created a special report called 10 Red Hot Derby Strategies for Fast, Consistent Trading Success. The techniques that we looked at tonight are covered in that report as strategies number 8 and 9 of the 10. You can also take advantage of the special that we're having right now, where you can have a free 30-day trial to Realtime and the Derby. Just give our office a call and we'll get you set up. Additionally, we will be hosting our weekly Q&A session where we can answer any questions you have related to tonight's strategy or any other question you have relating to VectorVest. I hope you all have a great weekend and look forward to having you back next week at the VectorVest University. Good night, everyone.